Live.
What's going on, everybody in Polk County and surrounding areas? Once again, we back live in the man cave Sunday night regular time. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and happy to be back. And got a lot to discuss, so we're gonna kind of jump in it. We'll start off by saying what's up to our co-host to the PG. What's going on with you, boss?
Nothing much, man. I'm here. Happy to be here.
Hey,
Great,
we here,
great,
man.
great, a great way to end the season. Great way to end the season.
And just jumping in to the coach. What's going on, coach?
But with the Cowboys today,
Cap is on time.
Oh man.
man, we just got out of travel ball practice, man. You gotta, cut these rosters down and let some of these kids know that their services are no longer needed.
Oh, y'all cutting.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Already?
Yeah, man, it's that time, bro.
It's tough in these streets, huh?
You know it. You know what I'm
Man.
saying?
Boy,
Well, I
Bird,
mean,
what's good with you? Shout out to
Man,
Bird. Let's give a shout out to Bird real quick before we go with Bird's Vision and the Blue Summers for the photos that they provided for the photos of the year, man. Them guys did a good job covering all season long. And I wanted to be one of the first to give them a shout out for a great job of the photos that they did.
yeah, shout out to Bird Vision. Also shout out to what is it, Blue Summer? Blue Summer's sent
Blue
some stuff
Summer.
too. Yeah, both them guys
Great job covering all
making
season long.
things making
I want
things
to be one of the first to give them.
making things happen. So we appreciate the love, appreciate y'all. We stepped right in their lane with the photo thing. So that's a great
And
thing. So
they're gonna officially become some partners with us. We put the word out now that next season they'll officially become partners with us, and we'll always give photo credit to those guys and continue to try to build relationships with everybody as we move forward to bringing Polk hoops to the expanded level, what you call the next level.
yes, sir. And we always show love to anybody. Well, not anybody, but we always show love to them guys. So yes, sir. That's what's up. So, well, before we get as we do, we always get started. What's going on with anything? Too much take anything on your dome?
Man, I'm freestyling all the day, so they're gonna get the best out of me. But
Hey,
hey,
so I asked the question. That's why I asked the
nah,
question in the week, man. I already know, but go ahead, though.
I really don't. I mean, I just want freestyle as we move on. I might pause and cut us off from some stuff, and some random stuff might come out. But I'm ready to rock and roll. I really hear from the
Jump,
coach, the
jump in
legendary
there.
coach.
I know he just got out of practice, so he probably deep in coaches mode. So anything in the coaches corner right now?
man, you know what? March Madness is truly here. Shout out to Patrick Ewing and the job that he's done with the Georgetown Hoyas. They was mediocre, and for them to go in the Big East tournament and win the Big East, I thought that was huge. I think that's a great example of why you play the game. No matter what the records are, no matter how many times you don't beat teams or lost to teams, I think you have to give him credit and get those kids focused and going on the run that they did to punch their ticket into the NCAA tournament. Because if they don't win the Big East, I don't think they get in.
No, they don't get in. And the crazy thing is, I don't know if you saw the story. I read where he was like real upset because the security people like carded him like he had to show credentials to get in the Madison Square Garden yesterday.
Yeah,
Like,
Huh?
yeah,
What?
he had to
yeah,
show
they
like
asked for ID.
credentials. Yeah, he show ID to get in Madison Square Garden, and he like, man, what in the world? And I thought that was back crazy, man. So but you is right though. My best friend, he is a diehard. Um, he been a Georgetown fan since Ewan and all them guys. So like he sent me a text message, and I already knew. So he was like, "How about the Hoyas?" So I'm like, "Oh, they must have won." And you know, we both always been very respectful of each other. So like when Georgetown is not doing as well, I don't bother with him. And by the same token, you know, this year's been a rough year for my guys. So he been taking it easy on me. Everybody ain't been taking it easy on me, you know, including these guys, including these co-hosts. But you know, it's all good though. But so shout out to Georgetown and my dog and his guys getting in. And I actually think where they got them seated at, they might win a couple games. I think they can beat a couple people. That they threw a pretty good bracket. I think a pretty good seed.
So this how bad it been for me.
I haven't watched them play earlier. They got athletes.
I haven't watched one college game, bro. I haven't watched no games of basketball.
Bro, before today, well, kind of sort of yesterday, I watched a little bit, but today I kind of say I just been at the house. I watched the SEC game with Alabama and who they played? LSU. And then I watched like some of that game, and that was a pretty intense game. And I watched the Illinois Ohio State game, and Illinois actually got a pretty good team. I don't know how big a run they gonna make, but you say I'm in the same boat you is, bro. I was telling my son today, I just ain't even watched it.
Did we get in?
They had them projected as like a 2 seed, didn't they?
What happened?
Did we get in, Billy D?
Who that?
We should have got in. I don't know where we're at though.
Oh,
yeah,
but you know they put us out. We had a positive COVID test. I think in between us and Duke, which made us get out of the ACC tournament. So we didn't even finish the ACC tournament.
I thought Florida State beat us.
No, y'all finished. We got the positive test. Y'all lost to Florida State, but y'all got an 8 seed though. I think y'all in the region with Illinois. I want to.
While we talking about Ewing, let's mention Juwan Howard in Michigan.
Yeah,
I totally forgot. This is how bad this season been with no fans. I just said like I can't watch college basketball without fans. But I just realized this week that I'm like. Michigan is top 4. I think they was at 2-1 at one point. It was at number 2. I just realized that Juwan Howard was coaching them. I'm like,
first year,
unbelievable.
And they got number 1 seed.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. Like to see after he, the Fab Five situation, him going to the NBA and coming back home to actually coach, and they welcoming him to be the coach. And in 2 years to see he doing the job that he did, I'm like, wow.
And got one of the top recruit classes coming in.
Yo,
had the freshman of the year, the Big Ten.
Yeah,
he's doing big things on there.
First year, and the thing is, they lost in the semi and still got a 1 seed. So they was
they finished top 4. I saw that. Now they finished top 4, so I was like, they probably locked for a number 1 seed.
Yeah, so they got and Gonzaga got a 1 seed, Baylor, Illinois, and Michigan. Now at the beginning of the year, who would have picked them 4 people to be the number 1 seeds in the tournament? If you did, well, you can get Vegas and cash out right now if you had them 4. But this tournament should be interesting. For me, I'm gonna be looking at Alabama won the SEC. When the last time somebody besides Kentucky won the SEC? So and Alabama got some athletes. They ain't bad at all. So I don't know how far they gonna go, but they ain't bad at all. And Florida got a 7 seed. Too. So Florida kind of up and down. They can be dangerous, but they can be trash too.
But Kentucky ain't make it either, huh?
Kentucky or Duke.
But you ain't heard one word from Coach Hen, boy. Jesus Christ, boy. You don't even talk college basketball, boy.
He don't push you out there on the show, man.
I ain't heard nothing from Hen all year. Usually he called, but when your team playing each other, man, I ain't heard a thing from Hen. Do he even got a college team anymore? Did he fire the Kentucky team? Anybody talk to him?
He die hard by Kentucky, man, but it's tough, my dog.
No, he ain't die hard, boy. That man hurt right now, boy. I can't wait to see him. I hope he get on the show today. Please jump on YouTube, Coach Hen. We need to see Coach Hen the link. We need to see Coach Hen the link just to talk college basketball. They were trash.
Bird and Sean on here, so he might be on here because Bird give it to him real hard because Bird is a Carolina guy, so they be on it.
Man, they were so sorry. They were trash, man.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was a.
It was all me. They suck. He brag on them when they winning and getting the 1 recruits and going to the NBA, but I mean that man won't even wear blue. He won't even put on a blue nothing. Any other year, boy, he got Kentucky nail you everything. They sorry. Let's just face the fact, boy. Kentucky is probably the biggest disappointment. Hey, Duke was trash, but Kentucky, man.
Hey man, we
I got
beat
it
some.
right.
Hey, we was about to make a run for that COVID hit us, bro. We was crack. We finna do a UConn for the ages.
That
But they
sounds good.
Hey
It's
man,
tough
we
out
had just
here.
knocked out Louisville, bro. We was
That sounds good.
Hey man, you know. So, but I mean, hey, what it is. You know, that's first time since '77 or '79. I think that Duke and Carolina both ain't made the tournament. We would have knocked off FSU, Sean, and we would have the COVID wouldn't hit us. Y'all probably stunned the P batters and probably infiltrated. It's all right though, but we ain't gonna.
Sean, an FSU fan. Oh Lord, now we got somebody. Now I ain't never heard nobody like Florida State basketball. And all of a sudden, Sean, an FSU fan.
He just hates Duke. I found that out when we knocked him off with Zion. He hate Duke, and anybody who anybody who can beat Duke, that's his fan. That's his team. So oh man, my boy here too. You know who else is diehard? Kentucky fan is Coach Collins. I see he on here. So Coach Collins that here. So it's sorry, Coach Collins. I know it was tough.
Coach Collins can get it too. Find a dumpster. Matter of fact, y'all hold on.
Hey man,
why you got that man?
Hey, Florida State won't make it to the
Kentucky.
Oh man.
Kentucky.
Hey man, you know, we blame
Grade A sanitation.
We blaming it on COVID, man. Everything our year was on COVID. We was finna shock the world, man. We finna do a Kemba Walker, man. You know how Kemba Walker did 5 games in 5 days? That's what we finna do. So, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, it was tough for the Blue Bloods. But anywho, hey man, so we gonna jump into it, man. Yeah, Coach Collins, we'll be back. Y'all will be back, and we'll be back. So we just it swang around everybody. Carolina forgot they were trash about two years ago. They was scratching too. So
it's still people believe that Tupac alive, Coach Collins.
They was Carolina was scratching and surviving like a good time a couple of years ago. So it swang around everybody. It just caught us. We'll be back though. We'll be back, and COVID is the devil. Anyway, all right, man. So we're gonna start out. The year's over with. So we just gonna kind of just do some. We'll just put some couple topics out, and we'll speak on them. And we can kind of go where the topic leads us at. But first, I don't know if we want to talk about the back-to-back state champs. I know we kind of talked about it last week a little bit. I don't know if we want to, but that's the first thing I got on the thing. Bartow went back-to-back state champs. First of all, congrats to them guys once again. They deserve all of the accolades. It was the only Polk County team to make it, only Polk County team to win it. So shout out to Coach McGriff, his staff, and his kids on a great accomplishment. So I don't know if y'all want to add anything more to that, but that's the first thing I got in the year review is are we surprised when the year started to where it ended at? Are we surprised that Bartow went back to back? Now the year's over with.
Yeah, not surprised they went back to back, but it was a lot of question marks that we had to throw out there, to be honest, because of how the season actually went. You had Walt get hurt for the beginning of the season. They struggle early. Walt gets back. He doesn't play. He misses quite a bit of games for whatever reason that Bartow has him missing the games. And they lose to some county teams. So it was like, are they going to even be able to compete? Like, yeah, they'll get back, but are they going to be able to compete? And then, they showed what Polk County basketball tradition is really about. So,
yeah, because they lost twice the two Polk County teams, right? Bartow
they got blown, and both of them and they were down by 16-17 in both of the games. So it wasn't they fought back in them, but Caleen had them by 17, and then they came back to Auburndale, and we witnessed that. Auburndale put that sausage in them.
My thing is that we knew what they was capable of all year. Um, I know they had some internal issues. I don't know what those internal issues were, along with the injuries. Um, but this was the expectation. Um, but Griff knew from our conversation that it was championship or bust, and it wasn't even close. Once the end of the season and they got into the playoffs, Walt showed why he was the best player in the county. Period.
Yeah.
It wasn't no question about that. And he really, you can tell that they was dialed in, they was ready to go, and it wasn't even close.
You know what's interesting about that? Like you know how as coaches of whatever sport we play, the goal is to continue to get better. And you're gonna take some bumps and bruises as you try to continue to get better. But that's what Bartow did. Like you saw like why coach would say, well, Dewberry is new defensively, he hasn't learned how to play our defense yet. Till you see Dewberry at the state tournament in the championship game against a great point guard. They had a really good point guard, and Dewberry put the clamps on him. I mean, locked him up. But at the beginning of the year, you would be like, well, Dewberry don't know how to get to his spots. He ain't jumping to the ball right. He ain't not helping his teammates. He's being a little bit too over aggressive to Dewberry stand in front of someone. He's sprinting down, cutting the guard off if he gets beat. So he just got better. KJ got better defensively. Like everybody guarded the way McGriff probably wanted them to guard at the end of the year. And you saw that in them. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, Toomer, that's a lot of new pieces that they added. You know what I'm saying? So chemistry, it
yeah,
took some time. It
yeah,
just really
definitely.
took some time, and it came together at the right time. And like I said, they really just took off once they got into the district tournament.
And them kids hadn't played together. The three horsemen, the three amigos, they hadn't played together like 5 straight solid games when Walt got back. It was a 2-game. Walt was out. Dewberry was out. 2 more games. They didn't get that gel to get 5 games. So you kind of that's why it was so rocky. But I think, like you say, man, they did what was supposed to be done.
Coach Collins is asking
I
me,
called
it's
a blowout.
surprising.
I called them. I said they were gonna beat them. Remember we
Blowouts.
questioned that. You was like, I said, yeah, they're gonna 15 points or better.
You would think you get to Final Four, and I think that maybe the fact that they went back to the old school district run up, probably some better teams didn't get in. If they would have did the rankings like they did the year before, I think last year was much more competitive than this year. Not taking nothing away from Bartow or anybody else, but if you get to the Final Four, you don't expect a 40-point semi and a 30-point.
Nah, you still don't. Yeah, 15 points. I was like Bartow would be better 15 points. But again, like great as we talk. Let me ask y'all this: like, it was some good things that happened for Bartow too, that we didn't even get to talk about all season. That would have been a very, very interesting go if it would have happened. Now let's remember, Ely didn't make the state tournament last year. I don't even think they made the playoffs, right? Going into the season, Ely got picked to be in the Kingdom of the Sun. Then Ely coach leaves, and they lose all their players.
So essentially, that wasn't the best team that came from down south.
You wouldn't have got blowouts because Ely would have been the team if the coach would have stayed and 5 or 6 of the guys who transferred. The point guard transferred to the state champion of 3A, I think. But they lost. I mean, Ely was in the City of Palms, the tournament bracket, as a non-playoff team. Bartow was in the City of Palms playing in the players, just playing in it as the #1 team in the state. That says a lot. So Ely had something.
Bartow can't control who they play, but it definitely, like you're saying, it didn't hurt who they ended up playing. Now the Bartow Nation gonna say no matter who, they would beat everybody by 30 because that's just how they operate. But East
Nah,
Lake
they
got knocked off.
probably
Ely didn't. You just didn't. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that they won. I was surprised they won by the margin they won by. Say it that way.
I'm not surprised. It's really because I can relate to what they did this year because we did the same thing in 2012. Well, but every playoff game for us was a running clock. I mean, they were clearly once they got outside of Kathleen, they were clearly better than everybody else that they played. Could we predict it running clocks? No, but I think it was easily, 20 points better than anybody they was going to play this year. Everything just came together for them at the right time, and they dominated like they were supposed to.
they would have beat East Lake by 20. I said 15. Remember, I was saying before they even East Lake lost, I was like, oh, East Lake is not going to be ready for what they're going to see with Bartow. So that wasn't even a threat. East Lake team. For everything that I talked about was all about what they did, and that was defensively. I continue to say that, like, yo, these teams ain't ready for that Polk County type of defense.
I think, like Coach Collins
I
said,
agree, Coach Collins.
I like what they did last year. I definitely like what they did last year with the 4 districts, the top 4 teams. I like the rankings. I think you get the best teams. I understand why they did what they did this year, with COVID, and they just trying to, but I
What
definitely.
they did different? What did they do? I'm lost. What did they do that last year?
They just took the district champ, district run up this year.
Because of COVID and scheduling, they didn't want to add that factor of strength of schedule in there. They didn't want to add that in because of COVID and all the canceled games. They didn't want to put in the strength of schedule. They didn't think that was fair.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's probably worked out better for Polk County anyway, because half of the Polk County teams probably wouldn't have got in.
Yeah,
they scared to play people. So we saw that all year. They were scared to play people and canceling games. So probably worked out better for us.
All right, so
hey, it is what it is, man. I'm being honest.
Hey. You being honest, like you always do. That's what we like.
Run, Forrest, run.
Well, let's jump in this kind of segue, not necessarily segue, but I got overachievers. Who overachieved this year? Did anybody overachieve? Did anybody do more than we thought they would do?
I don't like to use that word, man, because I was so impressed with Kathleen. I mean,
we was impressed with Kathleen, but did Kathleen overachieve? Did we expect regional finals?
I did not expect regional final. I did not expect regional final at all, Coach.
And did we expect regional final to the point where Kathleen was the toughest game that Bartow had the whole year? I mean, the whole tournament, the whole playoffs. They was like outside of that third quarter, they played Bartow pretty even, and we were there.
Yeah, I didn't expect Kathleen. I didn't expect Kathleen to get the regional final. I didn't expect McKeer to go 15-4 or whatever. I didn't expect Wheatland to be knocking at the door at the of the regional final. I'm not surprised by Eric because he had about 15 transfers. I think he only had one returning player.
So we saying Kathleen, Discovery, McKeer overachieved. What we say Lake Wells overachieved? Lake Wells.
Yeah, Lake Wells too. Yep.
I thought McKeer to do what they did when they lost as much as they lost. I mean, we had them barely in the top 20 preseason, and they got to the regional semis.
Well, people be like, hey, they didn't play anybody too now. People gonna become, hey, McKeer ain't played nobody. We had a couple old school coaches get on here, trashing McKeer, but McKeer played. They played basketball.
They won the district, and they beat. They beat Discovery. Who made it to the regional final? So they beat Lakeland Christian. They beat some people. So I mean, you can only play who you line up and play, and I thought they did a real good job, especially with the fact, like you said, that they
And
what they had.
I concur with that. You got to give it out to Coach over at McKill and the great job that they did, what they put together with the kids that they had. The kids bought into their system and the culture of what the coach was selling, and I think they did a hell of a job this year.
Yeah, I was very impressed. And
So okay, so on the
Like Sean said, that
on
Cooper Ellis and Sessoms.
we're gonna talk about that. Well, not that, but something like that here in a little while. But on the other end of the spectrum, we talked about who overachieved, who underachieved.
Winter Haven. Winter Haven. Straight bust this year.
How did they underachieve though?
Y'all
Because they made it to the same place that they made it
underachieved.
last year.
Yeah, their record was terrible. They didn't win
That right.
games in the regular season.
Okay.
They were like we had them at ranked at number 18 at one point in the rankings. They supposed to be in
Yeah,
top
I
three
just
all
wanted to get
year.
an explanation. Just wanted to
Yeah.
get an explanation. That's all.
Auburndale, it was state of
I
the
agree with
bus.
that.
Auburndale didn't make it out the second round. I remember Shane, him saying he got $10,000. Auburndale don't get the second round. And we were like, man, should we send him some money? Because Auburndale going. And
So y'all, you kind of in and out. You said Winter Haven underachieved. You say Arbordale underachieved.
yeah. I had Auburndale as the best team in the county, bro. I was arguing with Bird them at this tournament that Auburndale was the best team in the county. They ain't make it out the second round.
It definitely seemed like this was the year that Arbordale. You was at the games, bro. Would Arbordale have beaten the other 5A teams there?
Leesburg, they could beat Leesburg. Who won
They
it
beat
in 5A?
Leesburg in the season.
Yeah, they would beat Leesburg. Who won it on 5A? Who won it? Do we know who won it?
Was it that Pembroke Pines team to beat Leesburg? Because Leesburg made the championship game, right?
No.
Oh yeah. Auburndale won the beat them.
Leesburg lost by 1. They didn't make it to the championship. So what is called Choctaw, whatever out of the Panhandle made the championship game.
Yeah, that Choctaw team. Yeah, that Choctaw team was another up Panhandle team that ain't playing Florida basketball. So Auburndale could have beat them too. The team that won is Pembroke. Auburndale wouldn't beat Pembroke. No, I don't think so.
Auburndale
It's stages, man. It's stages. Like it's stages to this. Like we had a discussion about Kathleen, and people were saying Kathleen would have blew out Ocala Forest, and I disagreed. I ain't see that happening. I mean, we had a good back and forth in the coaches group with a bunch of coaches about it. Like it's just matchups. Pembroke Pines was really good. I don't see Auburndale would have beat them.
Yeah, the conversation was since Bartow beat them by 40, Kathleen would have beat them by at least 20.
Nope, not neither one of those teams.
There were some people that said they believe that, and some people.
Yeah, Malcolm X White is Malcolm X White. Know what Kathleen they saw? I'm trying to figure out what Kathleen they saw. Them teams was good, man. Bartow was just that good defensively. Like, yo. Nah, ain't no 20-point 40. Nah, because Bartow beat them by that. No, man. Kathleen didn't have no post game. Kathleen didn't have bigs that they go to score. All right. So that matchup with Forrest would have been definitely a bad matchup because they had multiple bigs. The guard pressure that was
Bartow,
brought on.
You know what I'm saying? So
go ahead, Coach Billy D.
Yeah, I just say you can't make no correlation because Kathleen's from the county. They know the kids know each other. They're gonna play each other. So that's a rivalry game. They're gonna play each other tough. That's not necessarily gonna equate to what you do when you get to the White House. You know what I'm saying? So those teams are there for a reason. You just don't never know how those kids get in those type of spotlights. You know, the atmosphere is different when you get in there. So you just
Hey,
don't know how the kids are going to respond. It's so many other factors that you got to put into play. I think Kathleen would have competed on. I think Kathleen would have beat those other two teams, but you never know. That's why you play the game.
okay, that's true. I just that's true. I mean, you got a good point. But a point you made that was very good was the spotlight, right? You've coached down there. That's a different breed of a. All right, we had guys didn't show up against Bartow that we still question. Like we're saying, Kathleen was a couple possessions away. Kathleen won a couple possessions away from Bartow. That could have got ugly. It was up to 16-17 at one point, wasn't it, on Barnes? And they fought back. They
Yeah,
didn't have no score. They didn't have. Listen, I think Kathleen would have struggled against those teams because offensively they didn't have sets the way Bartow ran sets. Kathleen would have been easier to guard. So I ain't saying Kathleen would have lost. They would have struggled against those teams. So they wouldn't have beat them by 20. Offensively, Kathleen didn't have good sets to run. And you got to remember, Bartow had Walt, KJ, and Dewberry, as well as big man who averaged like 10, 15, and your favorite player showed up in the semifinal of Barnes. Big time. Frazier showed up good. Like give me five Kathleen guys. Give me five Kathleen guys that can show up on the offensive end.
My boy. Well, I mean the thing with Kathleen that it was well documented, and if you talk to Kathleen coaches, they'll say this. With Bartow, Walt could have an off night, KJ could have an off night, and they could still win because they got other guys that can score. Kathleen did not have as many offensive options, so they couldn't afford to have their couple main guys have off nights. And because I mean, a lot of people forget. I mean, you talk about the big three for Bartow. You talk about I guess we call them the big three. You talk about Walt, KJ, and Dewberry, but hell, last year the Tyrone Smith kid was starting. He can go get you 10 a game. I think he got 10 in either the semis or the finals. Frazier can get you 10 a game. I mean, he was second team all Canada last year. The Vigo kid can get you, 7, 8 a game. The Dathan kid was 12 and 12. Kathleen, if their main three, if their big three,
who are that big three? Who was the big three for Kathleen?
If Monty, Jimmy, or Shaw's son, if either one is off, it becomes real tough for them to find points, and that's just facts. It's just a different makeup of the team from Kathleen to Bartow. Bartow just had more guys that could score, even if they didn't score, as opposed to Kathleen. If any one of them guys had an off night for Kathleen, it was going to be a struggle offensively. And and they end up third quarter, they struggled in that game against Bartow, and that's where the game kind of got away from them. They was tied. It was tied at halftime. I don't know if people remember that. It was tied at halftime.
You know what else people forget about the Bartow and Kathleen comparison? Because I'm glad we're talking about this. This is what we're supposed to do. This is what Polk is about. So for Bartow competed against two teams that was in the state tournament, 7A. They lost to Oak Ridge and they lost to Dr. Phillips. Kathleen didn't play anybody competitive like this. They didn't have the schedule to compete to be like Bartow did. That's the other thing we ain't talking about. Bartow played some hell games in the early of the season. Didn't care about winning or losing. They competed against great teams. Oak Ridge was number one all year.
Yeah. You got to commend McGriff for even putting together that type of schedule with COVID. Because just imagine now, McGriff's schedule would have been even harder if he plays in the City of the Palms and he's able to go to that Tennessee tournament. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
those kids was experienced and battle tested. So
Kathleen wasn't battle tested. Let's not forget. Now we sat on this and had an argument for about an hour about Kathleen won't even play Santa Fe. We played them later on during the season. They weren't battle tested the way Bartow was. We're only looking at old Kathleen and Bartow. Auburndale beat Bartow and they didn't get out the second round.
And then
we can't go off that.
Even in the county, even inside the county, Bartow played, like you say, Auburndale and Santa Fe. And Santa Fe played a hell schedule too, outside of COVID. But they also played inside the county too. And then a thing that kind of goes I guess noticed. I guess some people do notice it, but see, Coach Miller kind of made the point. I'm making the point. It probably is not another team in the county that plays more games and plays more games together than Bartow does. From middle school to Bartow Blazers, summer ball, then summer ball and fall ball. I mean, it's probably not another team that keeps their kids together and plays as much together as they do. So you figure those guys like the Smith kid, the Vigo kid, the Frazier, Davis, they've been playing in that program since middle school. They've been 6 years in. So even if you get a new guy in, that's why I was saying, and then, they had 7 guys on that roster that played in the state last year. So it's no substitute for experience. And then the guys that you brought in don't have experience, but they got talent. I mean, they got big time talent. KJ is a big time talent. Dewberry is a big time talent. So it's like the guys you bringing in ain't like trash. They like can get it. So when you mesh them together,
yeah, you're right. That's a plus. But listen, also what we found out at the end, whether y'all like it or not, or they can say, "Oh, we hating on," winning and competing against good competition is 2 different things. With Polk basketball, Bartow competes. Man, hey, we can lose this one. Whether we win or lose, we competed. Same way in the Mosaic. McGriff plays the best team on Friday and Saturday. He ain't gonna just play a team to win. You get what I'm saying? These coaches, and it ain't knocking the coaches. It's telling the coaches, if you want to get a blueprint, compete. The winning gonna come later. If you winning, take a loss by competing. Santa Fe shouldn't have been asking for games when guys could have been playing them to prepare them for, okay, now I got to find a way the toughness to beat Bartow, to dig in to beat Bartow, to dig in to beat a Rockledge, to dig in and do this. Guys ran from games that could have been competitive, man. Bartow didn't do that. We say, Bartow got down by 15 against Oak Ridge. Well, them 15 turned into 40 in the back-to-back state championship, huh? We don't talk about that, though. Can't compare them 2 teams, man. You can't compare a rivalry. I don't like when people compare that.
It's not a sexy conversation. Yeah, it's not a. But it's a real conversation. But it's real.
And that's something that I took from McGriff from that, and that's what helped me get to where I am. I seen McGriff go to City of Pond, see McGriff put together a tough road schedule. If y'all didn't notice, when I had my teams at Lake Wells, we only played like 5 home games. You know what I'm saying? It was the reason behind that. It was the reason behind that. So my thing is, I knew we were going to have to play tough on the road in order to accomplish what we needed to accomplish. Like we went to the City of Palms. Even in the Mosaic that particular year, we played Mount Vernon on Friday night. Top 10 team in the nation. Then we turn around and play Tampa Prep the next night. They only lost 1 game that year. They was a state champion. They only lost 1 game. That was to us. You know what I'm saying? It's like people try to schedule sometimes to make it look sexy, but that don't equate to wins in the playoffs. It really doesn't.
So to my point again, coaches, Coach Billy D and Polk Hoops, we can't compare. Now, y'all have agreed. You can't compare Kathleen playing against Ocala Forest or Kathleen playing against the other team, saying they'll beat them by 40 because Bartow did.
No, you can't.
Because Kathleen didn't play the same type of teams to compete in that sense, yo. And it's a lot of different breakdowns we can give. If Kathleen could have won, yes, they probably could have won. But 15 and 20, man, y'all tripping. If anybody saying that, y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping. Oh, they played Kathleen pressured all year. They would have beat. Man, that wasn't it, man. That wasn't it. Just because they pressured all year, they would have beat Ocala Forest by 25. That's crazy.
And my thing is, you got to give it up to Sean the coaching job that he did there, but one don't equate to the other. Like I said,
all.
we only talking hypotheticals anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you guys really wanted for us to make that comparison, then you had to beat Bartow, and that didn't happen.
Yep. I just spotlight them lights. Them lights.
And them kids done been there before. You know what I'm saying? They know what it takes to get there. That's a huge difference.
You know it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna because Coach Wilcox said Forrest had no guards. Did Forrest not have any guards, or did Bartow just make their guards play that bad? Their record was 27-2 or 4. They got to the state tournament and they had to go through the Tallahassee area, right? To beat somebody. So they didn't have no guards and they had to go through the Jacksonville, Tallahassee area. I don't know, man. Kathleen had guards. So Kathleen had elite guards. Let me ask y'all that. Did Kathleen have elite guards or did they just have good guards?
They were solid. Kathleen could have. I mean, I guess Kathleen was. The people couldn't handle any like pressure, and they couldn't run.
You're talking about Bartow, who had 3 of the top 6 players in the county when we did the preseason, right? 3 guards Bartow had was top 6 or 7 in the county, right? They had 4 players in the top 10 of the county. Kathleen had how many? I ain't knocking you. I'm Red Devil now, but I hate them comparisons. Somebody got to bring this thing back to earth, man. Ain't no 15, 20 point wins, man.
Red Devil Nation, and that's too much tape. All right, so we're gonna transition, man, until we'll probably bounce back that, I'm sure, in the comment section. Coach Wilcox said them guards was terrible all year, so he's saying that
they were 26-4 with terrible guards and made it to the state. Boy, that's unbelievable. See, I'm sure Coach Wilcox, Coach Heen, and all them wish they could have been playing over there on that side of the bracket.
So we kind of talked about this last week, and we just gonna take a stab at it. We're not gonna do all of them because there's just too many of them. But just gonna look at some transfers. You know, last year transfer portal was a lot of conversation. It's already started to be a conversation this year already. But I'm just gonna throw some names out where they was at last year, where they at this year, and get you all's take on how did that move work out. Okay. So the first one, Diego. Diego was at Jenkins last year, transferred to Arbondale for his senior season. How do you all feel that move worked out for Diego Platis Ivan?
I think it worked out good.
I thought it worked out well too.
Yeah, I thought that worked out well.
You know what I'm saying? He's led a team to the second round of the playoffs. I know they had aspirations to go further. I think I don't know if that happens if he stays at Jenkins.
Yeah, I think that was
my next question. Jenkins played with this year. They was young, but they had some talent. If he would have stayed, do you think Jenkins would have possibly made a run? Would they had him with the leading other guys? I mean, it's you don't think it
I think they would have been better than what they were. They were good. They did pretty good this year, but I just think that was a good move for him. It wasn't a knock.
Okay. All right. Next, KJ from Segway. KJ was at Kathleen last year, transferred to Bartow. I mean, he won a state championship, so I guess the easy and the obvious thing would be that it worked out good for him. But what's y'all take on that one?
It was a good move for the sense that you didn't know that the other kid was coming in. Because if KJ stays at Kathleen and they have Jimmy, Doobie, and KJ and Shaw, can they compete with Bartow? Yes. Yes. Yes.
It could have
Yes.
easily been a different team in
It'd have been
the
a
Civic Center.
different team. Yeah. It could have easily been a different team in the Civic Center. But for KJ going over there, I say as a plus because he learned how to play basketball without without being pampered. And not to say that Shaw would have pampered him, because that wouldn't have happened. But he had to learn that it's more to the game than just shooting and scoring. If you're gonna go to the next level, and he learned
See,
that.
and that's where my stamp on KJ moving comes in at. That wasn't a short term decision. That was the decision for KJ in the long run. I mean, for granted, they won a championship this year, but I think in order for KJ to aspire to be the player that he needed to be and wants to be, that was a long term decision. So I think it's working out well for KJ. It will continue to. Now that he's losing those players, now what is KJ gonna do? This is the telltale year that's gonna make or break him. Is he
This
gonna
summer.
turn into
This summer. Yeah.
this summer and leading Bartow next year?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go from people knowing who you are to that elite status or not? So this is the separation year that KJ needs, and he needs the right people in order to help push him to that elite status.
I tell you, he had a good. What I was hoping for, and it did happen, was what he did in the state tournament to lead for the summer. So like, I didn't want him to go over there and just go into the state tournament and play like he played against Kathleen the first two games, like a 7 point, 5 point they win state. Because then we're talking totally different. Like, he won a state, but he actually did something in the tournament that made a name for himself going into the summer. And
Mm-hmm.
he's playing with the Knight Riders, so he's gonna play on. He's on the EYBL. He got the opportunity right there to play in the EYBL when it opens up, and he'll compete. But
Well,
last I checked.
word is out of Nike they may not have a spring,
Oh wow.
and coaches may not be able to come out this spring. That's the last word I got out of Nike.
I thought
So
it was summer though. I thought they were doing like an open period in the summer.
the open period right now that's in June is high school. High school that's only in Georgia. Remember, Florida did not adopt that.
Oh
So
yeah.
their open period probably be mid July.
Yeah, Marcus told me that. Who used to be each one teach one said it was only one gonna be one open period.
Yeah, in July.
But the rest of it is just playing travel ball and competing against the high level competition.
Yes, the
You know.
great thing about that is that so a lot of the independent tournaments should have great competition, and they're going to use the live stream in order to get people tuned into those games.
But you know what? That's even another plus. That's a plus for you guys because y'all can go compete at these tournaments and get the respect that you're looking for without
And that's
being
what
a shoe deal. That's open for everything, so you don't have to worry about just it's back to the old way until July.
agreed, and that's our plan to make sure that we there where everybody else is in order to
Yeah.
compete.
Who
All
next?
right, next one. Next one. Jimmy Huff, transfer from Tampa Bay Tech to Kathleen. Not sure how he was over at Tech, but I know how
Big
he was
plus.
at Kathleen. So, what's y'all take on that one?
Everything and more. Big plus. Took the ball out of Monty's hands for 28 or 32 minutes. Big plus. Big plus. Without that name and without that play that he had,
What's your take, Coach?
I agree because if he stays at Tampa Bay Tech, they might not even make the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, make the playoffs and actually probably play Kathleen because Bloomingdale ended up making the playoffs in that particular
They
district.
being Kathleen?
Yes.
Tech?
I'm talking about him coming over is the best move that he could have made. He would have had a young team. He may or may not have been able to assemble them and get them, into the playoffs. So that was the best move that Jimmy could make.
Yeah, Polk, who's struggling? I got one. The Rue kid, because we'll move on to kid from Winter Haven that transferred to Discovery. What's your thoughts?
Man, I could have had a monster season.
I say a big plus.
I had a monster season, and I don't understand how can Winter Haven not get that production out of that kid. If they could have if Winter Haven could keep all the kids that they had together, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we having another conversation. So just imagine Rue is in Winter Haven. Just imagine Dylan James is in Winter Haven. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows what the potential is right there.
Yeah, that's big. That would have been big. We just talked about Discovery, the kid transferring to Discovery.
So y'all already skipped ahead to Rue?
Yeah, your fault. Well, whatever your Wi-Fi kind of broke.
Yeah, I had to move back to my normal location. All right, so next we got Dewberry. Dewberry went from Avon Park to Bartow. Obviously, the obvious thing is, he won state, so hard to say it was a bad move. But what's y'all take on that one?
Oh, that's plus.
Definitely a great move for Dewberry because last year Avon Park struggled. They didn't win many games. They just wasn't very good down there. Best thing that happened is that Walt and Dewberry were best friends. They always talked about playing with each other. So, they was able to collaborate and win a championship. Hats off to them and Dewberry in order to make that move.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. These next two are going to be kind of, I don't want to say controversial, but it'll be interesting to hear y'all take on them. Alvin Tomlin, transfer from Sebring up to Santa Fe. Good move, bad move. What's your take?
I don't know what. Can I ask you, how did Sebring do this year?
Sebring.
We didn't talk about them a lot.
Sebring lost in the district semis without Walt, but Sebring they got a real good freshman, the O'Hearn kid. They had a pretty good senior in the Ryan Brown kid. They had an Emmett Beck Jr. They had some good players that was decent, and they would have had Walt. Not Walt. They had Alvin, who was 21-10 and first team All State last year, and they made it to the Final Four. You figure if they got Alvin coming back with what he had around him, it could have, especially in 5A. If we saying that Arbondale, it would have been very interesting to see Sebring with Alvin in that district. I think they could have possibly made it so to answer your question, Sebring was 12-11 without him, and with him, I think it could have been a whole different
Can
situation.
I say this?
Yes, sir.
For me, I want to wait till the All-State team come out to be able to give you an answer for that question. Because this kid was first team All-State last year, right?
First team All-State.
Okay, I don't have a comment to after that drops. If he don't make first team All-State, then you already know it.
I just look at the O'Hearn kid was at almost 20 a game without him. They had the Beck kid who was decent, good size. They had the Brown kid who was decent. They just if you plug Alvin back in with what he had coming back, that was anywho. Coach, I'll be quiet. What's your take on it, Coach? Because I know you've seen him a little. You've seen him too.
see him. I don't think the move helped him as far as the teams and stuff goes. That's just my take. I don't think moving from one team to the other team helped Alvin in that standpoint. As far as individually, I don't think he scored as much this particular year. To be honest, 3A I thought was better than 5A. First of all, so he's gonna have
I agree with
all from down south of week on an individual basis. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see him making first team All State.
Do you see him making an All State team?
Huh?
Do you see him making an All State team?
I see him on the second or third team, yes.
Okay.
I don't see him on the first team. So with Tuma seeing that, he probably gonna say that he probably should have stayed.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I just wanted to see it.
And then,
I mean, as a kid, if I'm first team All State, no matter where I go in the region, I'm first team All State again. If that drops down, I would be disappointed.
And you got to look at, I mean, with Santa Fe, did Santa Fe play a tougher schedule than Sebring? You could say yeah, because I mean, Santa Fe.
If people at Max Prep don't care about the schedule that the Santa Fe played, coach.
I'm just saying for the sake of the move, just was he able to pick up those offers that he picked up because he played that schedule? So I'm just throwing questions out there. I'm not saying this. I'm not making statements. I'm asking questions.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What was Santa Fe's final record?
14-10, something like that. 13 or 14-10.
13, 14-10. That's interesting to see if a 13 or 14-10 can get a second team All-State player. I want to see that. I want to see that. Was they ranked in the state? Any Coach Billy D? Was they ranked? Did they finish ranked in the state?
Santa Fe?
Yeah.
No,
were they ranked at all? Were they ranked at all any during the year?
If it was, it had to be.
It might have been early because they kind of was up and down.
He gonna get screwed over. He gonna get screwed over big time.
Coach Prince, and I don't know. I don't think anybody would disagree. Coach Prince said if he had Alvin, he in the Final Four. I don't think anybody. It would be hard to go against. But that Sebring Arvindale matchup with Alvin still at Sebring, that would have been made for TV. But it'd be hard to go against Sebring with Alvin. It'll be that. But that Arvindale, I mean they would have. But I don't know. I mean,
the first team is pretty much out the door because of the 4 teams that made it to state. You're gonna get 4 or 5 of them guys from that first team off those teams, right? That's normally what happens, right, Billy D? You're gonna get 2 from the state championship team. They got 2 studs. You got Jacksonville.
I mean,
you got Eastside. The Eastside.
He probably won't make the first team. But I mean, he ended up with he was 17-10 this year, so like 18-10. I mean, he's still solid. He won 21-10, but he's a tough kid. He's a real good player. So,
that's the next question, Coach Cecil. That's the next question. Did any of those players get additional offers because of the transfer? That's the next question about transferring. Period. But I think, honestly, the only ones we can talk about is the seniors as far as the offers. Like, is the kid still going to the Auburndale kid still going to school up there with J Frog? I haven't heard anything else about that. Did he sign?
I didn't see where he's. I mean, that don't mean he didn't, but I didn't see whether he officially signed early, but he could have. And I mean, I know he went up there like the weekend before the early signing period, so hopefully he did. So, all right.
We haven't heard anything else about that. That's the question. That's the question I always ask about transfer. If you're going to transfer, the situation is it going to better you for the next level, especially you leaving your senior year?
Well, in that case, I guess that would be a good move for Alvin because he picked up. Now the question is, he picked up the offers at Santa Fe. The question is, would he have picked up the offers if he stayed at Sebring? But he picked up 3 or 4 offers at Santa Fe.
Bruh.
Yes, sir.
Bruh. Bruh, the boy was first team. Bruh, the boy was first team All State, bruh, at Sebring. He getting them offers, first team All State. Come on, bro. He getting them offers.
Those offers are coming from the same caliber of programs. Because he did not get a summer, that's the reason why I don't think he got a high major offer or a Power 5 offer. Because he wasn't able to play in the summer. I think if that kid plays in the summer, he at least get 1 Power 5 offer.
Hey,
we said that about Walt. Walt wouldn't be going no Iona if he loses summer. Hey, again, Alvin picked up 4 offers at Santa Fe. Alvin picked up 8 offers at Sebring. The offers don't change. The kid was first team All State. Sebring would have been ranked in the top 5. They'd have been back in the White House. Them offers ain't changing, man. My opinion. This is Toomer's opinion. I just kid first team All State.
There you go. This gonna probably be another controversial or conversation worthy move. Trey Lane at Lakeland High School last year, transferred to Santa Fe this year. Good move, bad move in the middle. What's y'all take on his decision?
Gee, looking at Lakeland, I mean, Trey made it to the regional final, right?
He made the regional final.
So how could it be bad? How could it be bad?
I agree with you. Plus, he was able to play on the PG spot where everybody see him playing in college, so he was able to get that experience. I don't think he played the PGLA. You know what I'm saying? He was just used him as a scorer and a shooter. So I think it puts him in a position to get experience where he's going to be projected to play at in the next level.
Now, let me ask y'all this. With Trey stay at Lakeland, is Kathleen in the regional final or is it Lakeland in the regional final? Ooh, you see a different Lakeland team too now. You see a totally different Lakeland team.
If Trey stays
and the other kid, yeah.
If Trey stays at Lakeland, that becomes a whole.
That's a big rivalry right there, boy. That's a
conversation.
Yeah, we won't be talking about Kathleen playing.
He averaged 13 last year. You got to figure. You put Trey with Taylor and Viz, that becomes a whole different. Yeah, that becomes a whole different conversation. Yeah. That's almost like the KJ staying at Kathleen conversation. If Trey stayed at Lakeland, what Lakeland had, that's a.
But I feel, I ain't see Trey enough. We ain't talk about Trey a lot, but to make it to the regional final again, Lakeland didn't make it out the second round, right? They lost in the first round.
Well, last year? No,
this year.
Lakeland
lost in the second round. They lost to Kathleen in the second round.
They lost in the semis. They beat Jenkins.
They lost, right? Okay.
District.
Yeah, that kid played in the regional final. So yeah, we shall see.
All right. Next one up, Johnny Torrance left Lake Gibson. Went to Santa Fe.
Great move. Now, is Johnny Torrance looking to play? Is he getting any basketball offers? That's the other plus to it. But for basketball wise, it's a great move to play along them guys and to produce the way he did. Hopefully, he gets some type of scholarship offer. So some college offers or something. But that was a great move. That was big for him.
I agree.
Remember over the summer, I was like, who is Johnny Torrance? I saw one game and I was like, Johnny Torrance can play. When I saw them beat Auburndale, I was like, oh, that kid tough. But in summer, I was like, well, who is Johnny Torrance? Why is he transferring to Santa Fe? So, yeah, it was a great move.
Okay. Couple more to Israel.
Yeah, how many transfers we got, man?
Hey, man, it was a lot of them. I ain't gonna do all of them. We ain't gonna do all of them. The Israel kid left Lake Gibson and went to Victory.
Great move. Anybody that stayed at Lake Gibson was crazy. They didn't play football. can we say that? Let's not talk about no more Lake Gibson transfers.
You about to get the hate mail coming.
I don't care about no hate mail, man. All them guys who left produced. So something had to be good about it.
They gonna send it to you, Barnes. They ain't going to him. So
I know the inbox gonna be heavy, man. Let's go get ready for it.
Hey, send it to me. But great move here.
Okay. And the last one, this is the last one we'll do.
Whew.
The kid, Brayden Longaberger. He left McKeel and went to Lakeland Christian. I know. He was a PG.
Ooh.
He was a PG at McKeel last year, and he transferred and went to Lakeland Christian.
Man, I can't comment on that. I ain't heard that guy in longer, but I ain't heard that name all year. I can't comment on that.
Coach, you can comment more. You seen both of them.
Yes, I have. I mean, production-wise, he was pretty much the same. I don't think he benefited from making that move. I'm actually thinking about if he actually stayed, do McKeel have the opportunity to play in the regional finals or even get to the Final Four if he actually stayed? You know, because him and that Cooper Ellis kid were special. I think they was the two top scorers for that team.
What position he played?
Yeah,
He played point guard. Oh,
he's a combo, but he's a shooter. I don't think he benefited from that move.
Y'all ain't talking about that kid all year. So that kid there, him and his family got the right to tell me was I at any games if I make a comment. Was you at any game? Like, remember your boy from Frostproof? What game you went to? That I can't comment on that kid because I don't know. They can bash me.
Parents, so I mean, he's a great kid. I just don't think he benefited from the move. I think it was a lateral move instead of going up.
Upward move, gotcha. All right, well, that's some of the. We just had some conversation of the transfers, and like you said, at the end of the day, as a senior, hopefully the move will equate until you getting to play at the next level. But I just think I don't know if we can really accurately say it was a bad move because, like we keep saying, this year is so different because it ain't as many offers available. And you know, and shout out to a couple while we talking about offers. Shout out to the kid from Frostproof, Antonio Chaney, for committing to Carolina Christian. Also shout out to Kathleen guard Marcellus Thomas. He got a couple offers, one from Carolina Christian and also one from Pasco Hernando State. So good to see them guys getting offers with this COVID season. But it's hard to say if these guys was negative because it's less opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's less offers out there. So I hope that those guys that transferred as seniors actually get a chance to play. But the fact that there's less chance out there could be something that hurts them in that regard. So it just remains to be seen. But I saw in the chat box where people saying that Dewberry decided, they say that Rue decided. So I'm glad that both of those guys are getting the chance, getting the opportunity to hopefully play at the next level because we know it's not kind of promised with how things are right now. All right, so want to do this real quick. We're looking ahead to next year. I know we don't never it's basketball year round, but somebody kind of segued it in the chat box about best returning like combos, and a couple of them I just kind of had just out there just kind of thinking about. I know the first one that somebody already talked about was Cooper Ellis and Alex Sessoms.
That's the best period right now. That name, them two right there returning.
Well, if people, this is the thing.
Oh, you still got Tyler and Rue. Yeah, you got Tyler and Rue.
This is the thing. I'm just gonna throw a couple out there. I'm gonna throw a couple out there, and I want to make sure I make this disclaimer. I'm throwing them out there as to where they're at as of March the 14th.
Yeah,
8
Tyler and
4
Rue.
p.m. So I'm just gonna throw some people out there. So we got at Winter Haven, you got Tyler and Rowe.
Yeah.
A, but then you could say B, you could say Phillips and Isaac, Salazar. Bartow, you can say Salazar, the two freshmen. So they got two. At Bartow, you can say KJ and the Win kid, inside outside kid. McKeel, you got Cooper Ellis and Alex Sessom. The kid, the junior kid, one of the post kids, and Win. 32? He one of the post kids that he the only post kid that's coming back. One of the inside guys.
Rowan.
He wasn't bad. He averaged like 8 or 9 a game this year.
And the 2 Lake Wells boys.
I don't know his number, but he the only one coming back. Him and KJ the only ones coming back that played.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing some names out there too and be ready to just cut off anybody else. And we trying to have a discussion, boss.
Lost your thought.
Yeah, I lost my thought, man. He one of them cats that just gonna tell you the end of the movie, so you don't even be like, man, you don't even want to watch the movie no more. Lake Wells, I guess you could say they got a 3-headed monster. They got the Bash kid, the freshman kid. They got Gatlin, and they got the Excel kid. So I mean, they got 3 guys that's tough, and they all coming back. Santa Fe got the inside outside with Trey Lane, and then the big kid, the Wilson kid, who a 10th grader. Who Lakeland got? Lakeland got a lot of young guys. I know they got the Strickland kid coming back, and then they got a lot of young kids to go with them. Wilcox and Zipper and them guys. Kathleen, I don't know if he got anybody to go with Shaw because he losing buckets in Monty. But I'm just throwing some combos out there just for conversation. I mean, I know you just automatically just said that is Tyler and Rowe, and that's just it. But those guys from Lake Wells ain't bad either. Now I know you ain't seen them play.
No, I was moving too fast. I meant to say those, like,
yeah.
A lot of those names throwing out, but
y'all went Twin. Who is Twin at Kathleen? Y'all, you know who Twin is at Kathleen? We need government name. The only person I know coming back from
is it Kelly? Good.
Yeah. It's Shaw's son. I know that, and so I was just throwing them out there. It could be some real good combos next year. I don't know if because we talked about that at the beginning of the season about some good combos, and I ain't hear about no Groves, but okay. Okay, Groves is twin. So I think it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, we saying this as of today, but the reality is that we know off the record, I guess, that it's going to be some movement. It's already started. Movement is already started, I guess, in some cases. Whether it's like real or whether it's
the rumors going around.
Rumors is rumbling. It's just, I mean, and the thing is with us, some of it is known, and we just kind of try not to comment on it, I guess, ahead of time. But I don't know. So some of these combos probably won't be combos, unfortunately. Oh, and then Arbondale got inside outside. I knew I was forgetting at least one. Nags and Turner. They both sophomores, and everybody else that played with Arbondale was seniors, so they got those two sophomores coming back. So if you go ahead. If you got a combo, would you rather it be guard, inside, outside, wings? What would be your preference if you had the ability to choose it?
High school basketball, guards.
You rather have a combo guard?
A wing player or guard?
Play with their back to the basket no more. They want to shoot threes and do everything too. I mean,
guard or wing, something like that in high school basketball. Yeah, for me.
But it just seems like whenever we get around, when we come around, I don't want to say we come around. When we go outside the county, everybody big but us. Like we said, I mean, it don't hurt people like a team like Bartow, I guess. But I mean, we never the biggest team. So does that minimize somebody like a Harvey Wilson at Santa Fe or Nehemiah Turner at Arbor? Because they so big, but I mean, they not a guard.
I don't think it matters, but you gotta have strong guard play. Most of the teams that win have strong guard play. That's the reason why the team that Bartow got exploited, because they didn't have strong guard play. You know what I'm saying? It's always a plus to have a big man that can make a difference. But I'm with Tuma. You gotta have strong guard, one strong point guard and a wing that can just really get it.
Sean Grant, a COVID outbreak from somebody from down south, like what happened with Duke. That's the only way they get over the hump. You have to answer your question.
Hey,
they better hope there's something like Duke happen.
Had COVID outbreak. Why we gotta say Duke when there's other people that had COVID outbreaks? Oh,
no. What I'm saying is Duke would have been in the. I think Duke probably would have made the NCAA tournament if they didn't get the COVID situation. He's asking what can happen. What can Santa Fe do to get over the hump? They need a down south team to have a COVID outbreak, so they get the forfeit win to make it to the White House. Then they get the forfeit win.
The thing with Santa Fe, I think what has to happen is they got to get reclassified out that region. I mean, just being honest, because as long as they in that region with Calvary Christian and St. Andrews and whoever else, that other team down there, I mean, it's just gonna rotate from team to team. Like last year, it was St. Andrews that had that squad. This year it was Calvary Christian. Next year it'll probably be somebody else. So the only thing I think can happen is they got to get out. They got to hope when they reclassify it, they reclassify them out that region. I try to go 4A or 2A. Well, maybe not even 2A, because then you do OCP. But as long as they're in that region.
If you go to 4A, if you go to 4A, then you got to pay the Twins.
Well, I mean, I just think they gotta try to get where they kind of like, because I mean, look at 7A. You had Dr. Phillips and Oak Ridge played each other in the White House, and they both from Orlando. Because of how the region worked out, they both went to different regions. So I think that's kind of how Santa Fe, it need to work for Santa Fe, where they go to a different region. Then even if they stay in 3A, they got to, if they go up north as opposed to going down south, then maybe they make it in. But as long as they going down south, that's gonna be tough to deal with. And it ain't nothing against them. I mean, they made it to the regional final 2 years in a row, but they just ran up on 2 buzzsaws. And you know what I mean? What can you do?
But look, if they go to another region, which is Tampa, then they got to play against don't they got to play against the boy Brayden them, the kid that put up 30 some a game? Yeah.
Sharp. No, I'm saying up north, not west. Because Sharp came from on the other side. But yeah, they'd had to play against Sharp though. Yeah, that definitely would have been
another loss.
Yeah, that would have been. But if they would have that up north region, I think they could have came out of that up north region. I think they could have came out of that one. They just ain't gonna come out of that south region with them monsters down there. I mean, so that's in a nutshell. I think that's what needs to happen for them. I wish they could do it where all the Polk County teams in 6A wasn't in the same region where they could split that up. And it's crazy because you got Bartow and Winter Haven that play essentially in a Orlando district, but then they all come together when it's time for the playoffs. So in that case, you could have if Orlando could get 2 teams in the Civic Center, I don't see why we can't. You know what I'm saying? Where they don't have to play each other before the finals. Maybe I'm off on that. Maybe it won't happen, but I know they're talking about redoing, and maybe they won't redo it. I know you know more about this than we do, Coach. If they putting a halt to classifying stuff, because I know every 2 years they're supposed to redo it, and I know they've been talking about it with football, but I don't know if they really finalized and went through with it all the way or not.
They're going to reclassify, but it's only going to be for 1 year, so they're going to redo everything for next year, and then after that, they're going to have to do it again. But you remember, Barnes, when I played back in 97? All right, we were the district runner-up to Alvin and Shaw them, right? But remember, they sent us to another region. So Charlotte was in one region. We was in another region. We actually could have met them in the Final Four. So maybe they need to look at that again.
That's what I mean, just look at it for 1 year on this year's number. So I was going to ask Coach Collins in a minute because I know Coach Collins he right in there with it. So next year could be Santa Fe could get out that area for 1 year. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what he got coming back, but he can avoid that. And maybe in that 6A, you could have where they not all logged in there. You got five Polk County teams logged in there. She talking about. I thought toward the end of the year, and we talked about that early on in the year that Winter Haven dealt with a lot of injuries this year. I know Rowe was hurt a lot and Tyler was hurt, but I thought down the stretch he was playing very well down the stretch.
He played great down the stretch.
Yeah, he was averaging 15 a game.
15,
and I know
like 15 a game.
I mean, he just had the thing is, 15 a game down the stretch. So yeah, he got better as the season go on, and as you get your legs up under you, I mean, it's tough when you. And in his case, Rowe case too, they were both playing football, so they didn't have no basketball leg. They just jumped right out off the field, right into the gym, and with no summer, no spring, that's tough. It ain't gonna just happen. You got to kind of work at it. So I thought he did a real good job.
I thought he did a great job too.
I don't know about that one, but I understand Mom taking, speaking up like you're supposed to. But Winter Haven both had they top two guys was not healthy all year long, so that definitely had something. You figure if Winter Haven returns everybody's supposed to return, you can make a case that they the top team coming back next year. Now, whether they all come back or not, that's different. But if they got Rowe, Tyler, and them 4 freshmen, and then the word is the old boy coming back from Gainesville, and none of them will be seniors. They're
the team to beat. They'll be the team to beat.
If they all come back, you just got they done played. They've been playing together. They done been in playoff. They done been in tough situations. Winter Haven don't run from people. They play a pretty tough schedule too. So if all them kids come back, you gotta like them top spot. Now whether they come back or not, that's debatable. But if they do, you gotta like what they bringing back. So, I hope they do it that way, though, Coach. I hope they send them guys in different regions. I just think that all of our teams in the same region, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. But if they all come back, then they can make a run. So, all right. So, I know Tuma said it earlier in the show, he's not real big on neither am I. So I don't even know if it's something that we can really even talk about. But they did the selection show tonight. And I was going to ask you all, I had it on here, but we may not be. Do you have an early line on who you think will make the Final Four?
Yeah.
And
I have no clue.
I know right now Gonzaga got a chance to make history. I don't think they will. They undefeated. They got a chance to be the that's the third time you put that. We not talking about official. Well, that's not. I'm gonna say it this way before we say it. That's not something that's not known. So I know you keep putting it up there. It's known, but we're not gonna speak on it. But anywho,
what's that? What's not known? The Illinois question?
The transfer portal. We know that the kid is in the transfer portal, but he's like he done put it there.
Who was LJ Casey? Who was LJ? That's the Barton Jenkins guy.
I don't know, Coach. Do you want us to talk about it? You want us to talk about the fact that he leaving? I don't know.
I don't want to talk about it.
I want to talk about it. I'm sure that the Jenkins people don't want to talk about it. You're a Jenkins coach, so I'm not understanding why you bringing it up. I don't know if you're trying to tell on them or what. I don't know, but
let's not address that until they actually.
We're not going to address it. It's like the third time we put it there, and I'm like, I don't know what's the point of you keep putting it there. Are you trying to make it a deal? You trying to low key trying to tell on them or something? I don't know. I don't get that one. he ain't the only name that's out there. So if we gonna put him out there, put all the names. Don't just put the one that's affecting you out there. Let's be fair now. Put everybody's name out there that is affecting if you're gonna do it. Otherwise, it look a little shady. And one thing we ain't gonna do, we ain't gonna be shady on here, you know. So let's just keep it G. So you looking a little suspect, coach, and don't do that. Don't like the kids say, don't do that. But anyway, we know that Gonzaga is undefeated. They got a shot to go undefeated. It hadn't been done. I don't know when it's been done. Has it been done? Has a team went undefeated all the way? But anyway, who? I know I saw a graphic where they had like the last 5 teams that went undefeated in the regular season. I saw they had like UNLV on there. They had like a couple more people on there, like four other teams, and then Gonzaga this year. And I think the fact that they went undefeated in the COVID year is very impressive. That they didn't. And I watched them play a little bit the other day. And they wasn't bad. They ain't bad, coach. They got some kids they got some guys that can score, coach.
They do, and they played a competitive schedule.
UNLV regular season. They was undefeated till they ran up on my boys. And they said Kentucky too. It was Kentucky, Indiana. My boys knocked them off, but Tuma still mad about that. 20 years later, he put that game up every year. Y'all, Tuma will put this game up, and he be mad as all get out. Like this was the biggest fix of NBA. So it's coming, y'all. Just check his page as the tournament starts. He always put up that UNLV game when Duke knocked UNLV off with Greg Anthony and Anderson Hunt. He hate the fact that we knocked them off. He put that up like every year. It's so funny. But anywho, we're gonna put it on the page. We'll put just like a challenge up just to make it fun and see what everybody think. Cause I'll admit I got to go do research. I haven't been as much on college basketball this year as previous years, just because of COVID and because teams. When you just lost track of who was playing, who wasn't playing, who was doing what and stuff. But I mean, I like Big Will. I don't know about this. This Big Will Final Four. That'll be an interesting Final Four.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I can't even talk college basketball.
You gotta like the field goal story. That's true, coach. Anybody but Duke hate Duke. I don't know why, man. We play basketball the right way. Kids graduate, they stay out of trouble. You would love for your kid to go and be a part of a program like that. When that, I mean, I don't understand why people hate Duke so much. I mean, they graduate, they go be good, wholesome guys in the community and in the community they serve or where they live at. I don't. Coach, I said early on in the season in the show, I wouldn't be surprised if Georgetown make the Sweet 16. They got a real good draw. They got a low seed, but they got a real good draw. I think they could make the Sweet 16, which would be a great field goal story for Patrick Ewing to make the Sweet 16.
So we supposed to feel if we gonna make the final minutes of the show feeling sorry about Duke.
The interesting, no, I'm not. I'm going on. Somebody made a comment. I made a comment. I'm moving on. Now,
it's been 100 comments in the. It's been 100 comments in the post, coach. And now you want to talk about Duke.
I made one comment about Duke. Now them cats.
You don't want to talk about Duke, man.
See how it comes. I'm done with it. That's why. See what I'm saying? That's why I can't say nothing about it. Somebody made a comment. I respond.
We don't want to talk about Duke, man. Duke at home.
Now it's about we home. We chilling.
Them guys at home ordering Whataburger. What do you call it? Whataburger?
Hey. In the words of Shane, I got $100 that Carolina won't make it to the Sweet 16.
Well, we ain't talking about Carolina. We just don't want to talk about Duke, man.
Carolina will be on this boat with us by the weekend, by Sunday, whenever they play. But anywho,
wow. Yeah, wow. You just throw Carolina at the bus like that, huh?
You just threw Duke at the bus?
I said we didn't want to talk about Duke. We just don't want to talk about a team that's not in the playoffs.
Okay. So Black, you hear it now. So in the morning now, we'll see how the conversation goes. But this is what I want to ask y'all. What y'all think about the setup for the tournament?
Are they doing that locked into that bubble thing? Are they doing that?
Doing the bubble thing, like something like I was.
I think that's good.
When I was watching the game. Who played it? Whoever was it? Oklahoma State and Texas, I think. Whoever played last night, they said that the guys were even leaving. They weren't even going back to school. They waiting till the day to find out like the tournament, and they leaving from the tournament and going straight to the bubble. They don't even want to take no chances. So
I think that's
whoever
great
the two teams was.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For what happened to Duke in the thing, I think it's great. So you will be locked in like a bubble season.
It happened to Kansas, it happened to Virginia, so it didn't just happen to Duke. But so
I think it's great though, bro.
But did you? This was the thing though today that it was crazy. I don't know if y'all watched the selection show, but I watched it. So they do the whole 64, and then they do like the first 4 in, the first or the last 4 in, the first 4 out. They actually added a category this year. They got the first 4 replacements. So like you on standby, like Louisville is like replacement 1, and it's 3 other teams. So like if one of the teams by Tuesday, if one of the teams like test out, Louisville in. If the second team out, the second team in. So they got 4 teams that's called like replacement, and they got them like in rank order that they got to just be ready. By Tuesday, they could be in, or by Tuesday they ain't got the call by Tuesday, then they just out. But everybody goes into the Indianapolis bubble, and they just playing all over Indiana. So it's gonna be interesting to see if everybody makes it through with nobody, testing out of it. So I just think it's gonna be. Is
Duke one of the 4 teams?
No, Duke not one of the 4 teams. Drop it, Fat Mouse. Since we talking, since we all here, drop it. Hey, since we lied, y'all hear me asking Tuma to drop it. That Carolina won't make it out the weekend. They'll be on the boat. Us in Kentucky. They'll be on the bus in Kentucky.
I had to throw that shot in.
He won't answer it though. It's all good though. You got to take it. So now when I just remember this stuff, Coach. I don't never bother with him about Carolina. Him and Mike. I let him live, but they did get me. So then when I come back, I'll be legitimate when I'm coming back though. But anywho,
Coach, on the air, man. I leave you long in public though.
Yeah, man. You see how this guy he keep coming for me, man. Then I have to defend myself though. But it's all good. Though. We were trash this year. We prayed a sanitation, so we'll take it. It don't happen a lot, so when we can take it just like we can give it, so it's all good. So, but anywho, I guess that's it. If y'all ain't got nothing else, man, it was a real interesting season. I'm happy because you remember, Coach, you made a bold take that the season might not even finish, and then midway through we stopped playing. So the fact that we actually finished the whole season. Shout out to the kids being able to finish the season out, man, and so that was great in itself that we actually got a whole season in with all this stuff going on. So I'm happy for the kids and happy for the happy for the coaches and the fans. We just had to kind of adapt to things and make it work and shout out to them for making it work, which it was up in the air for a minute. So I'm happy for that. I don't know
when we gonna start doing the rankings and all that.
That's
what this show was about.
I don't know how the spring. Well, we gonna
not the ranking. I'm talking about like the awards. When we gonna do the awards?
The awards. We're gonna start posting them this week as far as like who made the finalists and stuff. We kind of put it out there last week. So player of the year, we'll discuss it. Oh, and we want to make sure we do that. Make sure we kind of just explain how that's gonna go while we're on here. So. It's going to be a 4-part vote for the awards. 1 vote to go to PG, 1 vote to go to the coach, 1 vote to go to Polk, and 1 vote will be fan vote. So we put the thing out for you to vote. You can vote, and that's how we're going to determine who wins. So we can tell you this, that our decision will not be influenced by previous award nominations or recognition. So I know that somebody put on the page that we political and awards had already been decided, and we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, we political.
That's what hopefully you'll know that we've never been as political. We've never went with whatever. We always spoke on our how we felt, and we don't always agree, which that's what make us who we is. So that's how it's going to go. So when it goes out, please make sure that you vote. But it'll be player of the year, it'll be coach of the year, transfer of the year, rookie of the year, and we'll do the all Polk Hoop teams and the
I don't think they understand how much us three disagree with each other.
It's just crazy. I read it. I read the stuff a lot more than y'all do.
I definitely don't read it. Me and Billy D just went back and forth about one of those awards, left and right, all day. So ain't no favoritism. That sounds crazy.
It's just crazy.
I win every award, please.
Yeah. Man.
Can't
win every award, and we'll come on and discuss it once we make a decision. We'll do a show, an award show once it's finalized.
Okay, so we're gonna drop. We'll drop it, then we'll come back and discuss it.
All right, cool. About it. Yeah. Hey, before we get off, man, I see somebody got it in the chat box. Yeah, we got to get them time to vote. So, but we'll send it to you all before we put it out, so you can kind of see. But if you are the praying type, if you subscribe to praying, we ain't trying to make you be religious and that kind of stuff. But if that's something that you do, please send one up for two things. Send one up for Daniel Thompson, freshman over at Santa Fe, and I'll send one up for the family and friends of Jamar Taylor, Lakeland running back. He passed away recently, and Daniel Thompson, without going into detail and telling his business, just need your prayers. If you're one of those praying types, just say a prayer for him. I'm sure him and his family and friends, everybody will appreciate it. So just want to make sure anytime that things are needed that we do that. We're not telling you to, but if that's something that you do, just adding one more name or two more names shouldn't hurt you. All right, so. All right, fellas, well, this has been a good one. So yeah, next time we come back on, y'all, we will be discussing the awards. We will have announced them by then, and we'll discuss them. I'm sure it'll be a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion between now and then, which is what makes Polk Hoops what it is. Appreciate everybody rocking with us tonight. Hopefully you guys, I know this is y'all last week before spring break, so I know you guys are gonna be skipping around campus all week. So make sure you stay safe. Make sure that you mask up. Take the vaccine if you subscribe to that kind of stuff. I got my first test, my first dose is scheduled for tomorrow morning. So make sure you take care of yourself, man. Stay safe out here because don't play around with stuff out here because it's really, really, really real out here. Okay. So PG, Coach, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us all year. Next time we come on, we'll do the end of season awards. And then we're going to turn the season over to, we'll flip the page and it'll be summer ball. Hopefully, spring ball, hopefully. We look at some summer league stuff. Hopefully we can get a summer league in. We ain't got one of those. We didn't get one in last year, and that was tough and rough. So we'll talk about all that next time we get on, though. But appreciate everybody. Y'all be safe. And till next time, Polk Hoops out.
Peace.